very tight space. And so if anybody got gas in a house, all of us, none of us could sleep in the next houses. You know, I mean, it was that intimate. And so you had to develop a different kind of society than you have today, where we spend every penny we have to not only isolate ourselves from the family next door, but to isolate ourselves from the people in the next room. This is what we have become, which is the polar opposite from whence we came in those long rows. And so it was a much more intimate life, it was a much more informal life. To me, it was a life that dealt more with our environment. That's when culture was not something we talked about, but something that we lived, we experienced on a daily basis. Sharing there was a must. And he talks about rinse water. When your mother washed, there were three span of water. You had the wash water, you had the rinse water, and you had a blue water. All right, now there's a secret that I'm not going to shed here. But for certain reasons, certain little boys could not go in that wash water. They could not go in that wash water because it would be disastrous. But if you were of high royal lineage, you get to go in either the rinse or the blue. You know, and you do good there. So this is where you actually had your actual bath for the day right there. And then in the yard sometimes, I remember very clearly, there was a bed spring. And I remember George Baboon's father used to take this bed spring and take a chunk of caliche, white line, a block of it, and he would break that all day, every day when he was home. And he ended up with a powder, which is white line, which is a white powder, a dust. And that was something that you could sell to throw on dead bodies, whether it's animal or humans, because we didn't have all that refrigeration in those days. So these yards, if you had a fruit tree in your yard, you were very fortunate because people like me don't come and thief whatever fruit you got. My father gonna put a dress on me. That was not child abuse. It couldn't come out the house after that. But living in an old yard, living by a long road. There was a long road in Mount